Welcome back to another video. So today in this video, I know my last one was camera related, but today is going to be another car one. Today we are going to look at my new to me 74 Mexi Beetle, and then also we have my 02 Turbo S new Beetle. Now the Turbo S new Beetle I've had for a little bit. It was my project car back in Connecticut. I moved to Florida, sold my daily, and now the Turbo S is my daily, and I am now working on my Mexi Bug. So we'll go over the Mexi Bug first. I'll show you everything about it. We'll go to the new Beetle, and then I'm going to show you what I've been working on lately. So this is a brown sugar. That's what the previous owner named it, so that's what I'm going to keep its name as. It's a Mexi Beetle. It is lowered a little bit on different wheels. Four-wheel disc brake converted. It has, I think they told me, Jeep Wrangler headlights that were retrofitted. I really love the look of this because they still keep the chrome buckets, but with the aftermarket headlights. I open this here. Let me actually. I have a little light up here. So, sticker bombed, as you can see. No rot down here. There's a little bit of rust, but no rot. You guys know Beetles, you know that's awesome. Wiring is meh. Definitely got to clean that up at some point, but overall, pretty good condition. Just a little bit of rust over here under where the, the brake reservoir is. Not too bad. Continuing up here, we have a Safari windshield. I do believe it's just a Brazilian kit, so unfortunately it is a knockoff, but it still works well. Now, whoever installed it, they did a weird thing where they kept I think the original window seal or something, because they didn't put it all the way under the hinge there. So let's water it under the hinge. So to combat that, I did order a loose nuts. Now they make like the best Safari windshields, but you could buy their seal separately, so I did buy a seal. So I'm just waiting for that to come in. We have a rag top, which I've not gotten information whether it is true to this car, and I don't think it is, even though in Mexico they did make Beetles in weird configurations based on what parts they had. I think it is grafted, but whoever did graft it did a very good job. And it is an original ragtop graft because of the lip that's in the roof. And then moving on, same thing here, or stock there. We do have, apparently these were special to the Mexican cars. Not sure how true that is. And there is what I've been working on, so we'll get to that. Come back here, nothing too special. Some chrome added there. And then, so there's that. Oh, and the side windows pop out here. These also pop out. For an engine, from what I've been told, it's a 1600cc engine. Aftermarket pulleys, though, I do want to get those replaced at some point. Buy the same pulleys, but the company said that these are the outdated and I should upgrade. I recently made this hose to relieve crankcase pressure because I was having a leaking issue. I just rebuilt the car, but I have not gotten to tune it yet because of what we got to talk about inside. And then that all goes down to a like a little hidden fender dump exhaust, which I like the look of that. There is some rust here and there and here, but the floor pans are totally good. A little bit of surface rust, and that is it. So for the inside, it is a SoCal look Beetle, and what that means is there are some things that obviously are not original to the car, like the dash. Somebody made an aftermarket fiberglass dash and leather wrapped it. I think it looks great to this car. There's some aftermarket gauges, aftermarket wheel, roller pedal down there, scat shifter, which I believe are all pretty cool modifications to this car. As I told you, Safari windshield, and I will be putting a radio in here at some point. Now to what I've been working on. So, while I was rebuilding the carb, right, some of my gauges have some issues of bouncing. So I was like, let me redo some of the grounds. So I came in here to disconnect the battery, and I'll put a picture up on the screen. the battery was corroded and there was a ton of rust under here. Luckily, it was not through the floor yet, but it was definitely getting there. So what I did, I have pictures of the whole process. I wire wheeled it. I used Oshbo rust converter. I then scuffed it, cleaned it multiple times with degreaser, and then this is Pour 15, and I'll show you the can in a moment. And there's 2 coats of that. So part of this video is we're actually going to pull that up and see if it worked. And I'll show you some of the products over here. This is the rust converter here, the Oshbo. Worked very well. I'd highly recommend this. And then the Pour 15. Sorry about my garage. You know, still getting it together. There's this. Now I was told from multiple people to not use the metal prep and the stuff that comes in the kit. So I didn't. I just scuffed it with a red scuff pad and then degreased it and used the Pour 15. So I guess we'll see how that comes out. So that is the Mexi Bug. And now let's move on to this. So this here is my 02 Beetle, new Beetle Turbo S. As you see, aftermarket wheels. Everything up here is normal. It is actually painted a different color. It was originally black. It is now a Volvo Variant Blue. So it's lowered on lowering springs, RPF 1s, nameless catless downpipe to a MagnaFlow exhaust. I did have to find a new Turbo S badge because that came off. We got the wing. It was painted by the previous owner. Should definitely be redone at some point. Obviously FCP Euro sticker. And then the inside, it's gonna be hard to see, but we have the seats. There's an energy quick release. And then I do have I forgot my key inside. I do have a P3 gauges pod gauge over here. You probably won't be able to see it, and that's really it. That's really all that's done to this car. It does have an intake, and that's about it. All right, so if you are here for the car tours, you may click off this video. And now we are going to get into the rest of the project on the Mexi Beetle, which is us. We're going to take all of the, what's it called? We're going to take all the tape and plastic off and rate how we did on our rust conversion and see if it worked. Actually, I have to go get my tripod because I didn't bring it out here, and then we'll get into that. All right. This is the only angle we got, so hopefully it works because I can't really have you guys in the way of what I'm doing, but I actually think I need to. So I am going to put gloves on just because, I don't know. You never know what's going to happen. Right. So, better be safe than sorry. So like I said, I did do 2 coats of Ospo. I followed those directions that were on the bottle. I did the first coat, and then I waited until it was dried but still tacky. And I did a second coat. The first coat I did with a foam brush that it came with. The kit came with a foam brush and a regular brush. Sorry, hold on. Focus. And a regular brush. Now the foam brush basically disintegrated right away. So we had to continue with the regular brush. So now we're going to unmask everything and see how it looks. I'm not really sure what it's focusing on here. So, all right. Let's see how I did. And now, obviously, you saw it was clean, and now it is kind of not clean, but that's because there was a whole bunch of like rust dust on there. But it actually looks like it came out pretty good. Obviously, you could see that the floors were originally coated in something that was more matte. Now, no stores around me had matte pour, but this will do for now. And yeah, I don't think that will be peeling up anytime soon. Now I'm going to give it a quick vacuum just because of all that dust falling on there, and then we'll look at it in detail. And then our next step is going to be, so you see how, I don't know, you can't see it, but I have this sound deadening peeled off to a certain point, and what I need to do is actually make that a nice even flush cut, and then measure how thick this sound deadening is, so then I could continue the sound deadening back into here again. So let's vacuum and then we'll do that. Now it does look like there might be some areas that still need to be touched up. Not sure if that's maybe just because of the way the pour dried, or because of how I put it over another sort of coating, but it does look like there's some places that just need a little extra. So the good thing is we're not putting anything on today, so I could touch those up and let it dry for tomorrow. The next step for me is actually going to be, actually I'll touch those up quick, and then we'll see what we can do. Now luckily I was actually still able to get it open, but most people say you can't. So I'm just going to degrease those areas quick, and then I actually don't have another paintbrush, so I'm just going to use a paper towel to kind of dab it on there. You got to make do with what you got, and unfortunately I don't have another paintbrush. And that other paintbrush was obviously hard and used, so can't really use that. But otherwise, other than this one spot, it looks like it covered very well. Very happy with the product. And I think that was it. Alright, cool. I did just sweat. I hope that didn't drop into the paint. That would not be ideal. Alright, perfect. I think those were all the spots that needed to be touched up. I am now going to throw this away. Alright, now close the can back up. Obviously you saw we touched up those spots. Like, yes, I know there is some rust like here and there, over there, but I just wanted to get the main rust. Obviously a little bit of surface rust is okay in this kind of build. If we were going full restoration, yes, I would want to fix all of the surface rust, but I just wanted to get this sealed up so that the battery corrosion doesn't do any more damage. So now what I want to do is, let me see if I can adjust the camera without getting it totally dirty. Alright, I would like to, you see here, I have it going down because I wanted to cover the rust all the way up to there. What I want to do is from right here over, I'd like to actually chop that piece of sound deadening, so then I could do the sound deadening from here forward. And I also need to chop it because I need to see what thickness this is so that I could get new sound deadening. Because I have aftermarket seats, as you saw, and they're actually bolted straight through the floor. So in order to have them sit the same as they were, I need the same amount of spacer on the front and the back, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to try to do is hammer across, hammer the screwdriver into there and see if I could split it, and then see if I could get here and pull it up. So let's try that out. Alright, It's that point in the video where I already got to take my shirt off. Alright, I did make a little bit of a line in the floor, so I might have to cover that up with something so that that doesn't rust. But otherwise, I think that was pretty good. Now it might come off in pieces, but that's a good piece. I can see how thick I need the sound deadening from that. I gotta be careful where I fling this stuff, or else I might end up right back in what I just added for the pour with that paper towel. I don't want it to go in there, so. There we go. I guess this side is really glued down. All right, perfecto. All right. Oh, you can't see me. All right. As you can see, I got that piece off. I got done what we got discussed. I'm gonna call it quits for today. I don't know if you see I'm sweating profusely. It is very humid out right now in Florida, so I don't really want to be outside anymore. So I hope you enjoyed this little video introducing my cars and the little bit of work we got done. And then there will be a part 2 of hopefully getting everything ordered. Well, that won't be in the video, but I'll have everything, and then we'll get the sound deadening in. So appreciate you guys for sticking around, and I'll see you guys in the next one.